the meeting.
Okay. All right. So today, hi
The
Lorraine.
meeting.
So today we're going to go over some Facebook class tips. Um, Obviously, I love Facebook classes, right? We do them a few times a month. But so first off, you guys are always welcome to use any of the Facebook classes that we've done, like whether it's the graphics or the text or whatever. Like we have those all downloaded. We actually sell them. We've sold quite a few to other team members, or not other team members, other teams. But you guys get them all free. So whatever you want to use there, you're welcome to. And if you ever have an idea for a Facebook class, please let us know. Or if you ever have one you want to help us write, like Lorraine has got an idea for one for, how to use oils with kids with special needs. So that's one we're trying to find some information on. Susan had the idea of doing the one with using the oils for grief. That was a great class. So she wrote that whole class, and I just kind of put it together in Facebook format. So we love new ideas. So let us know any idea that you have, and if you want to help write it, we would love to have that. I'm trying to think of other ones we've done that team members have helped write. Michelle and her husband did one on addiction recovery. Anyway, I'm sure there are a few other ones that we're missing, but anyway, but we love input and help on those. As far as Facebook classes go, like a few tips. So first is whenever you're inviting people to a Facebook class, it's always good to send them like a personal message or something letting them know why you're inviting them, and not just like going through your entire friend list and inviting them all to a Facebook class, right? Because don't we all love it when people add us to Facebook groups without saying a word to us? They just throw us in this Facebook group and start posting about leggings or makeup or whatever it is. It's so unpersonal and like kind of irritating, right? So anyway, so the same with a Facebook class. Like if you're sending an invite to somebody, make it personal and let them know, hey, I'm inviting you to this class because, whatever. I know you're interested in staying healthy naturally, or, I saw your Facebook post last week about, your little one having an ear infection. And I think that, this is something that you would be interested in or wanting to know more about. Or, whatever. You mentioned the other day how much your back was hurting. Well, hey, this is something that could really help you out. So check it out. I hate to see you suffering, whatever. Just make it all about them. So anyway, so that's the first thing is a personal invite with the Facebook class. And then, I should kind of go over the basics here, but I think most of you guys know this. But so our the Facebook classes that we do, obviously you're welcome to plug anybody into, but we do continuing ed on the 10th and 25th of every month. And then on the 15th of every month, we do a basic 101 class. And I only pick new people to win the prizes for those ones. So like, they're the only ones who can win the prizes. And so on the 15th, we only had two new people on there. So they won all the prizes. So I do 2 giveaways on those ones on the 101 class. And then we do also a free gift for anybody who enrolls, following the class. So that's a good little perk if you have anybody who's thinking of it, or you just do a follow-up. So for instance, Kat she invited them to the 101 class, and then she did a follow-up with her after, like a little one-on-one, and then she enrolled, so she got the free gift from the Facebook class. But anyway, so that's how our schedule goes. So obviously asking questions is good, right? Asking engaging questions as many posts as possible is always good. Like, hey, what has your experience been? What are your health concerns? What kid are you most interested in? What, or I guess the kit question I asked is, if you were to get a kit, which one would it be? Or, who's had this problem? Any question that's going to engage your audience, because the more you can get them commenting on easy things, easy questions, like, comment below and tell me hi, so I know that you're here. then you can get them commenting on other posts where there's information that you really want to know, like what are your health concerns, and if you were to get a kit, which one would it be? And then I tend to put the prizes with the questions that I really want to know the answers to, like the health concern one, or I don't know. Sometimes I'll love to know what other people are using, because then it's coming from somebody else. Like for instance, if we're talking about using oils internally, I'll say, you know, hey, comment below which oil you love to put in your water during the day. And then I've got a whole bunch of other people giving ideas, and it's not just me, right? So then people are getting more ideas than what I just had to offer. And plus they've got like 20 more people validating that they love to use oils in their water. So everybody ends up teaching each other, which is, I love that. I love that. That's really good. So, so yeah, asking questions that are going to engage people, teach each other, and then, like I said, do the prizes where you're going to get, where it's an action item, something that you really, really want to know, or you want them to do. Like another one I ask is, you know, what item, or, you know, after this class, what are you most, or what product are you adding to your LRP this month? Or what one do you want to buy after this class? And those are good questions, because then you know, right? Like what did you do a good job teaching or presenting, and which ones really resonated with people. And I don't think you need to give away the farm, right? When you do a Facebook class, we just do 2 prizes, and it just have it be something small that you know you can mail, and light, right? But something that's going to be useful and people are going to be excited about. And there's nothing wrong with picking your winners. Like if you know you want so-and-so to win this prize, then pick so-and-so to win this prize. And that's okay. Like, because you're the one giving it away, right? And if you've got somebody in there who's super, like, you know, you just know it would be good for this person, then that's okay. I'm giving you permission to pick your winner if you feel you need to. That's totally fine. I try to mix things up, and sometimes if I feel like, ooh, I really need this person to win, I'll pick them to win, and other times I just randomly pick. So, but do whatever, because you're the one giving the prizes. And so another tidbit for Facebook classes is to keep them relatively short. So the typical formula, you know, is posting every 2 to 3 minutes. That gives people time to read through the information. You know, if it's a 4-minute video, then give them 4 minutes to watch it before you post the next one. But otherwise, just every 2 to 3 minutes is good. I feel like you need at least, you know, 14-ish posts to make a good class with content, but I wouldn't do more than 20. It seems like when you get more than 20 posts, it's too much information, and people just get into overload. It's kind of like when you're teaching a class, you don't want to go over more than 10 products. It's kind of the same when you're teaching a Facebook class. You don't want it to be too much information. And with that, you know, keeping in mind to keep the posts relatively short. I found that if people, if it's more than they can see that pops up, do you know what I'm talking about on a Facebook post? If they have to click the button that says see more, most people tend not to. They just read what's right there. So just keep that in mind as far as when you're writing it, the content that you have up there. Because most of the time, like, they don't have a lot of time when they're scrolling through things, right? When they're looking through. So unless it's really capturing their interest, they're not going to click that see more. Okay, so just a second. Diana asked a few questions. So she said 2 questions. Do you want us commenting on the intro class on the 15th? Sure, if you want to, yes, please do. Just you're more than welcome to, especially if you have somebody new on there that you've invited. For sure, comment below. Otherwise, it's totally up to you on that one. And then do I like Post My Party? Yeah, I really do like Post My Party. We've started using that a few months ago. It's been really good. I think it's like $15 a month. I don't know. 9? That was more than that. But anyway, so somewhere between $10 and $15 a month. And we really do like it. The only time it gets tricky is if this shouldn't really happen to very many of you, but if we're in a different time zone than we're going to be when we're hosting the class, and we can't load it to Facebook. So if you're not in the time zone you're going to be for when your class is going to be, then don't load your information or your post. But that's kind of a different situation that most people shouldn't have. But yeah, but otherwise it's been great. It makes it so much easier. And Diana, which one did you use? I know you used a different software or whatever for posting your CinchShare. Is that free? Let me know. No. Okay, and how much is that one a month, if you know? $10. Okay, so Post My Party must be similar to in price range to that. And do you like CinchShare, Diana? Good, good. She says she likes that one too. Good. So yeah, I'm not sure. We just went with Post My Party. Somebody recently recommended it that we were working with, and that was the one Brandon had been researching them out, and he liked that one the best. So I was like, oh, here, Brandon, come in here for a minute so you can ask questions about Post My Party, because Brandon knows more about Post My Party, so he can answer the questions on this one. So Marlene's asking, is it easy to navigate? Oh, is that one easy to navigate, meaning CinchShare? Okay, so is CinchShare easy to navigate, Diana? And then how easy is Post My Party while we're waiting for her to respond?
Post My Party is super simple. I mean, it's a matter of just setting up a template. Like, so for instance, like the Facebook 101 class, now it's in there. So the class we did on the 15th, all I did was just log in, put event party, click to start at 7 p.m., and I was done. Didn't have to change anything. That was it. So if you're going to do like a reoccurring one like that, or like the making the most of your membership, I can do that super simple and easy, and it's ready to go. Also, the nice thing is with it is I can, once I've set up a template, if you guys are also using it, I can share
Post My Party.
Yep, using Post My Party, I can share that template with you straight through there. So it makes it super simple for you guys to be able to get on. And I'm starting to put all the parties in, like put all the classes in there. So.
And so like how long would you take? It takes you to put a class in once we have it written?
Once we have everything ready to go, it maybe takes me 15, 20 minutes just to make sure I've got everything, perfectly squared away, because I don't want to put the wrong picture in or the wrong post.
So just double check.
I just double check everything. I take it a little bit slower just so I make sure it's on. But if you were in a time crunch, you could get it done in less than 10 minutes. So
anyway, so that was nice because it saves us a lot of time, because before when we did Facebook classes, and we just did this, you guys, because when we write those Facebook classes, I have such a hard time being like, okay, it's perfect. Like I'm editing those until the very last minute. Like it drives me nuts. So I'm like, oh, maybe I should reword it this way. I'm horrible. So I was having a really hard time like releasing control, if you will, and putting it out to Post My Party or before the class, so that then I could be like, okay, it's good to go, because I hated not knowing or not being able to like edit it to the very last minute. So I've gotten over that a little bit, and now we can put them up on the Post My Party. But it makes it so much easier, because before Brandon and I would both be logged in as me on 2 different computers, and so he would post from me, and then I would go in and like and comment and answer questions. So it was really hard. So now one of us can do the class, or we can both be answering questions or liking if it's a really busy class. But I'd always recommend though having somebody help you when you're doing your very first class, because it can be overwhelming, especially if you've got like literally more than 2 or 3 people on there asking questions. You're like, oh my goodness, this kind of, it can be really overwhelming. So, so for sure, like invite your upline or me or Brandon or whoever to hop on there and help you just answer questions, especially your first one or your first few. Because like I said, it can be really overwhelming when you first start. But then you'll be like, well, this is no big deal, and you can do it while you're eating dinner, for Pete's sake, So it gets really easy. And it's a super great way to connect with people. I mean, you guys know this, right? Like Facebook classes is awesome. Like we can connect with people from, Alaska to Massachusetts to Canada to, people are all over when they come to our Facebook classes. I love it. And so the second thing I wanted to actually touch on was there's a few different ways to do Facebook classes. Some people do it as a group. So they do a Facebook group for just their Facebook classes. And then they post all of the content for that class in that group. So this is good because you've got all those people added to the group and you don't have to worry about inviting people to classes, right? Like they're all already there. This is something that they want to learn. And you're not forgetting anybody or missing anybody. The downside to this one, which is for me was too big, and this is why we don't do it as a group, is after you start the next class, you have to delete the previous class. So you've got to go through, there's no other way to do it. If there is, it kind of makes it too messy. So you've got to go back and delete the class before. Like you could leave it up for a week or whatever, but then you've got to go back through and delete the content and then start again with your next class. So for me, that's why we decided to go with on the event side of things, because I couldn't stand the fact that I put all this work into this information and then you guys don't have access to it ever again. So, but I do know several people who do it that way and they love it because they don't have to worry about inviting people. Everybody's in there. Anybody can add anybody to the group, and anybody can leave the group at any time if they want to. So that is a good way to do it, especially, like I said, so you're not worrying about inviting people. So we do it as an event for a few reasons. One is I like the reminders of like, hey, this is coming up. Although you could do, in a group, you could do that too. You could set it as an event in a group, and you could do that, I think, and that would work. So anyway, I like the reminders that come up on Facebook with it. I like that people can, and my biggest thing is that people can access information forever. So for instance, I just invited somebody to a class that we did over a year ago. And she could go back and see that information. And that's awesome. Like, I love that we can just leave it and get to it at any point in time, that I can go back and invite somebody to a class that was forever ago. The only thing is if, so for instance, you guys wouldn't be able to invite somebody to a past class unless you were a host. So I could either make you a co-host if you wanted, say you were like, hey, I want to invite somebody to the gardening class that happened a few weeks ago. So either I can invite them or I just make you a host of the class, a hostess, a co-host, whatever, and then you're able to invite them to a past event. But yeah, so for me, I like that. However, the downside is I do miss a lot of people when we're doing invites. So there is an easy way to do it. If you go into, when you go to invite people, on the bottom left-hand side, there's a corner that says invite or events I've hosted. And so I can go back and invite people to the next class that came to my gardening class or that came to my, rollerball class or whatever. So then I can select just that class and then re-invite those same people who RSVP'd yes to that class. Does that make sense? Maybe I should do a screen share to show you guys. Would that be good? Yeah? Okay. Okay. Where's my tech support guy? Brandon, why can I not? Oh, there it is. All right. Oh, look, here's another class we're working on for next month. Okay. Sorry, guys, just a minute. I'm on Brandon's computer, so I gotta log him out. Okay, so all right, so the upcoming classes here. Okay, so here's my first aid for summer class that we've got going on. Okay, so I'm going to invite people to this one. This is our next one. Okay, so over here, obviously I can just go through all friends, close friends, whatever. But if you scroll down here, it's events I hosted. So I can go back to my gardening class and look, oh, I missed her and we're friends now. So I'm going to make sure she has an invite. She has an invite. So I got everybody else I've already invited. Okay, what about my Breathe Easy class? Oh, good. They're already all invited. How about making this your membership? Last one I did. Oh, look, she's not invited. Okay, I'm going to click on her. And so see how I'm going through and they're all just tallying up right here. Green cleaning. They're already all invited. So see, I already went through and did all this, but look at all the ones that we missed from, you know, mood management. So some of these may or may not want to be invited. But you know, I'll just go through and invite them all. Her, she's my friend. Okay, and I'm going to send invites. So now I just invited, you know, 8 more people to the first aid for summer class. But do you see how easy that was to find people who are probably interested in going? So anyway, the only downside with that is it's only people that I'm friends with. So I can't find people that went that I'm not friends with. So that's why I try to friend request as many people as I can who I know are going, or I'll remind you guys like, oh, hey, you know, send out some invites there to people who may be interested in attending that class. Because otherwise I'd have to go in and type them all in. Depending upon what their settings are. If their settings are not super strict, you can invite other people to those classes, to your Facebook classes. So then another tip for Facebook classes too is to, and I haven't on this class too, but is to kind of post how the class works. Like, you know, hey, here, because a lot of people don't understand how it works. They just do a quick little post of, hey, here's how this class works. Like, just join me here on the event page. You know, always put what time zone it's in because people get super confused with that. And then just let them know, hey, I'll start posting. There'll be a few prizes, comment, ask questions as we go. You know, just let them know just a little recap of how it works. Anyway, and I love to do polls. I think it's so fun just to give me an idea for what content people are wanting to learn about. Like this one, I was like, okay, I think I know what this class should entail and what we should teach, but I want to hear what everybody else has to say. And I'm always just amazed by how many people respond to these. It's amazing. Look at that. I mean, like, what is that? 27 people who voted on Sunburn. Like, I just love it. I love it. So awesome. Okay, so just a second. We've got some. Oh, I can't click on it. So chat. So Lorraine. So you create the class content on Facebook. So when you invite people to own class, it isn't live, so they can still post questions and you can still answer. Yes. So yeah. So I write all of this. Like I just write the content in a Word doc, like post 1, post 2, post 3, whatever. And then we do the images like in just a folder. And so we're just copying and well, before we were just copying and pasting it in, and now we just put it into the Post My Party. But so yeah, so that's how essentially create the content. But when we invite people to the OAK class, yeah, it's not live, but they can still post questions, and then I'll be alert. I'll get a notification if somebody's posted something in an OAK class. So yeah, and then if the Facebook Live that I do in there, you know, they can go back and watch the video. Like, it's just this, everything will stay in order. I love that Facebook has changed that now. So the posts are almost always in order, like, you know, it starts with 15 because we just do 15 posts in our classes, but it goes 15 down to 1. So they would just scroll down to the bottom and then start up. So yeah, so does that answer your question, Lorraine? Content is posted to your program, Post My Party, or has been shared. Yeah, so we put the content in there, but then they post it to Facebook on our behalf, if you will. Yeah. Good. Does that answer your questions though? Good. Okay. Awesome. Okay, so yeah, so I love these. I love this, and I love how people put different things in here. So I love it. I love the polls. All right. So so what other questions do you guys have? Any other questions? I'm trying to think. I think that was, if I had any other tips or tricks, but that was all I had. Yeah. But yeah, keep them short and sweet, not fire hose the information. I think that's probably the hardest part, is picking how much information is good per class. And I do love the images to actually have information on them if possible, rather than just, it's so hard because sometimes you can't always, but if you can ever have, you know, information in the post, but then also some information that kind of goes with it in the image, I think that's great. I love that people can save the photos and use those for recipes or whatever. Anyway. Okay, well, hopefully this was good. Some good info for you guys. Let me know if you have any other questions. Oh, fair warning about Facebook jail. It is real and will lock you out for 30 days. Okay, yes, please tell us what that is. What's Facebook jail? Or to wait for Diane to tell us. I've heard this has happened to a few other people when they're posting.
Can you hear me now?
They like literally get locked out and then they can't post anything. Yes, Marlene said. Okay, let's wait for him. Brandon, do you know anything about Facebook jail?
Melissa, can you hear me?
Post too much. But what's too much? Do we know what too much is?
Okay, so my understanding is sometimes like if you post 50 something today.
Oh wait, I can hear. Oh, who's talking?
Me. Can you hear me?
Oh, was Diana talking? Oh, Diana's talking and I can't hear her. Oh, that probably means that. No.
How about now?
We can hear. Oh, they can hear Diana and we can't.
I'll just type it.
But the people, I guess, the people I know as far as that have been put in Facebook jail and have like 50 plus posts, like they're just bombarding on Facebook, and sometimes it'll time you out. Sometimes when you're doing stuff like that, it'll do it for like a day, or it'll do it for like 72 hours, something like that. And I have heard of people that get locked out for like a month at a time.
Well, that's what Diana said, 30 days.
Sometimes the ones I've heard of that have been at a month at a time, usually that's the ones I know of. It's because they posted content that's been flagged, or someone's complained about their content, like that kind of an issue. So I don't know any further than that.
I know, but how do you find out how much is too much? Okay, maybe Diana knows. Does Diana know? Content, let's see. over inviting into Facebook groups, spamming the same content over and over. Gotcha. Yeah. Well, and that's a really good reason right there not to just go through and invite your entire Facebook friends. Yeah, and somebody reporting you, which is what you said. Yeah, yeah. So that's interesting. So yeah, so that's why it's good to just invite people that you know are going to want to go, which is funny because that always pops up for me when I'm inviting people to classes. It comes up in a big red thing, like only invite people that you know want to be invited or that you know want to attend, because I'm inviting like 100 people, but all of those 100 people have attended past classes. So anyway, I'm sorry I can't hear you, Dana. That's so weird. Like I even like just checked on my volume. That stinks. Anyway, I'm sorry about that. So yeah, so that's really good. That's a really good point though. So thank you very much for bringing that up, because that is very good. And I forget about that because it hasn't happened to me before, but I have heard about it happening to other people. So yeah, eek. That would be really frustrating. I know that's happened before. I had a friend who had a class coming up and she had to like postpone or cancel the class because she got locked out. She's like, this is so ridiculous. She's like, I don't know what happened. Anyway, okay, Lorraine asked, what is a good way to invite from your personal page? So you can share the event, but I always get confused whether or not people can see it if they're not invited. Like sometimes they can't see the link if they're not invited to it. But you could copy, like, so for instance, say you're inviting somebody to our Facebook, what's that class we have coming up? Oh my goodness, Summer First Aid. You could copy that picture, like just kind of do a little screenshot with Jing or whatever, or save that photo and copy that. And you could kind of copy the class content thing and put it up that way if you wanted. Amy Hudat, her real name's Amy Olson, she always does a good job posting and sharing the events too. And yeah, you can post the schedule too. That's always a good way to do it. And then people can be like, oh yeah, I want to go to, you know, this one, and then just make a note to invite them to that one. I try not to do more than one class at a time for the invites, just so that it doesn't get confusing. But I can't decide if I should start posting them further out. What do you guys have any thoughts on that? Like, do you think it's good to put the invites out before one at a time? I'm totally open to feedback on that one, because I've been doing just one at a time. Like I said, I feel like it makes it less confusing, but then like when you have people who want to come to the ones that are further out, but they don't want to come to this one, then I'm worried about missing them. So I don't know. Let me know if you guys have any ideas on that one or feedback on that one. I'm open to that. But yeah. All right. Well, if there's no other questions, we will end. If not, hurry type. Okay, let's see. I think it's good how you mentioned the next class at the end of the class. Yeah. So I just started doing that a few months ago. Yeah. And we do invite that one. I send out invites as soon as that one's over. I think that's been working out well, rather than waiting till just before and then sending the invite. I feel like we get a better turnout. But anyway, great. Okay, well, if you have any more questions or comments, yeah, please, we love feedback. Put it on the on Bring Share Build or whatever. But yeah, we'd love to help you guys with anything. If you ever want, like I said, access to any of the Facebook classes, let us know. And you edit them, edit them and make them your own. And you can do your own, but of course you're always welcome to invite as many people as you want to the classes that we host. But thanks for being on today, and happy sharing through social media.